what is the best way to start a blog?
In terms of a platform, if you talk, are you talking about like a platform? Then I would go for WordPress because it gives you the maximum functionality. It gives you thousands of
Hmm.
plugins,
Yeah,
and you can have the best SEO plugins. You can form a good SEO strategy. You can have social sharing options. You can have
yeah,
forums within your blog. So I think if you want to start a blog,
yeah,
to go for WordPress is the best option.
yeah. Of course, yeah. I've seen you use Typepad.
Yeah. So
Why
I
why do you use Typepad first of all, and why don't you use other platforms such as, for example, Medium, or other blogging platforms out there?
so I started using Typepad I think 4 or 5 days ago. So I did not want to go through the hassle of doing the SEO, doing everything, because at this very moment, I feel I don't need new readers. I feel I don't need new members. I feel that I am underserving the people who are already in my tribe. So
Yeah.
for that reasons, I moved to Typepad because
Okay.
it does give me the SEO options. But if you look at my Typepad blogs and if you look at my website, Smart Brandology, it's totally different. Smart Brandology is more about detailed SEO based proper blogs. But Typepad is very different. Typepad is about my thoughts. It's about psychology. It's about the psychology of life and
It's
marketing in general.
Seth Godin also uses that blog, right? I
Exactly. So
saw
I
it.
got the idea from Seth Godin because so I was watching an interview of his, I think, and he was talking about Typepad, and he goes like, Typepad gives me the tool to just go and start the blog. Done. It's done. And then
Yeah,
he said that Typepad never crashes. So that was something
yeah.
I really felt like, okay, it's Typepad who is hosting your blog for you. So instead of
Is it
Blogger,
free? Is it
and
free?
no, it's not free. So
It,
I think I'm paying $15 a month for the membership I have, but there are 29 and $49 memberships as well.
and
Um,
is it like a big? Are there a lot of bloggers on Typepad? Like, is there a
I don't
community?
think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
But if it's good for Seth Godin, it's good for me. So I'm reading a lot. So I'm reading this book I just wrote. It's The Illusion of Conscious Will. So I wrote
What is it? The illusion of what?
The Illusion of Conscious Will.
Oh, nice, man. What is it about? Tell me more.
The illusion of conscious will, the feeling that we are in control of certain outcomes
Hmm.
when actually we are not. So if you go and read my latest blog that I did like half an hour ago, the inspiration of that blog came from this book. So I tried to apply this methodology to marketing with that specific blog,
Cool.
marketing and content marketing and all of that stuff.
I will write this book down for
Yeah, it's
sure.
it's a good book. I'll send you the list right after the call. That's not an issue.
Cool, cool, cool. Very cool. I'm reading currently this one here.
4 Hour
Hour
Work
Work
Week.
Week by Tim
Yeah,
Ferriss.
I read
Did you
that.
ever listen?
I read that long time ago. I hate that book. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
Nope. Yeah, for me, it's completely opposite of the essence of who I am. But
It's not a Grant Cardone
n-
philosophy, right? It's
no, no, it's intelligent and it's smart because it teaches you to deconstruct things that are happening in your life. So I do use almost everything in that book right now with my content strategy, with the work I do with my college and managing everything. So I use each and everything that's present in that book. But I don't agree with the 4 hour work week title. And even Tim Ferriss doesn't work for 4 hours. He works for a shit
yeah.
ton more. But
Of course.
but with the
I
book,
think
yeah.
the idea is nice. You know, like, travel the world while being productive at the same time, while delegating your stuff to other people,
Yeah.
Indian people. Maybe. He
Yeah,
talks about
because
it.
people like labor and even technical stuff in India, in Philippines, these places is cheap, but necessarily like I don't resonate with a lot with traveling and like traveling all over the world and working, but it does make sense for a lot of people because
Yeah. Well, he was
so many
talking
people are
about,
stuck in the system.
yeah, like outsourcing, like, um crazy things, like the craziest things to Indian people. Like, for example,
I know.
he was talking about outsourcing messages that you send to your wife when it goes difficult or something like that. He was talking about this in his book, and I was like, what? But he says, like, in his book, he says, like, the average amount you spend on an Indian, like, people to outsource,
VA, virtual assistants.
Virtual assistant, yeah, it's like between $4 and $10 an hour, which was very low.
Less than that. He's telling it high. I think so. I think he's using these VA services, but if you directly approach a VA, it's going to be less than that.
That's crazy, man.
But it's smart. It's smart. So I use a lot of his strategies all the time.
Yeah.
Outsourcing, not so much. I like to do my own editing and all of that, but I do know so many YouTubers and so many people who outsource their video editing and everything.
That's true. That's cool.
Yeah. It's, you don't look at it this way.
Cool because you can focus on creating them.
Exactly. So you don't have to spend 3 hours on editing the videos. That's why these guys have teams. That's why they outsource these things, and that's why in a business, we actually hire people, because we need to outsource the stuff that is not worth the time or worth the value that we get for our time.
Totally.
So if somebody can do it for cheaper than me, I need to outsource it.
I totally agree with you. Yeah. It's such an important thing, man. But it's also very difficult because probably like you are as well, I'm a very control freak. I like to be in control of the things I produce. So for me, the idea of outsourcing is very hard.
Not so much for me, actually.
No?
For me, it makes a lot of sense. But it so turns out that everything I do everything that I do does not require outsourcing right now. For example, YouTube videos. So what I did, I used to have these jump cuts in the videos. So it used to take me like a couple of hours to edit a video. So now I've stopped doing everything. So I have a constant stream of video where I talk the whole time. So I won't jump from here. And what that does is it minimizes the whole editing time. It's like 10 minutes now.
Yeah, you just upload and then pop.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to do that as well. Like, you know, I discovered like the video cutting like 2 months ago, and I really love it. Like it's
awesome.
It gives the viewer like a very
dynamic perspective.
It's a nice experience for them. So I don't know. For me, it's hard to just like put the video out there without touching it. But
so I'll tell you what you can try and do. I understand what you mean, and I was at the same place. Mm-hmm. It will happen when you are starting new, because the speed of speaking and the energy we are putting into the camera, it's way off. It's way less than it really should be. So when I am talking to the camera right now, it's very different than I used to be. So because I used to be awkward in front of the lens because I'm just talking to the lens right now. So that is something that I have left. And that gives me a chance to be much more energetic and much more consistent in the tone of speaking. So I won't be choppy. I won't be like, speak one sentence and then think. So at the same time, the thinking process, it's going to evolve. So you'll have to try.
You're more free-flowing natural right now than you used to be?
So
that's actually cool.
So every single video, every single podcast, blog is different, but every single video and podcast that I've been putting out is all free flow. So anything that I've started doing, I think from a couple of weeks ago. So my last 10 videos and each and every one of my podcasts is all free flow. So I stopped doing all of that, scripting it, and
it's like the mental filters just evaporate, just like
exactly, and that speeds up the content naturally. So I don't need to jump cut and speed up my content.
That's good. Yeah. How would you like invest your time in terms of? I mean, it depends on your personality, but like in terms of video and blogging, like what's more of your nature and why?
So I'm still trying to figure that out. So I don't have a definite answer, but I have decided that I might end up doing like more than one video every day. So one would be video would be tips for marketing and that kind of stuff. Another one would be the psychological, a video to help you in developing your brain. And as for the blog, That is, I changed the whole, because, okay, so I'll tell you what, the reason I was not blogging as consistently was also because I had to make this 2,000, 3,000 word blog, which is SEO worthy, to land me on top page of Google, which I've done before. But that kind of blog takes 4 hours to write. I don't have 4 hours every day to write. So I'll keep thinking the whole day. I'll take out 10 minutes, write up a blog, post it up. The same thing I'll do with the video. So the video that you saw yesterday, and there's one more video and a few more. So I've started recording them on my laptop directly now. So I have a tripod right an open tripod right in front of my bed. So I minimize everything. I have the camera right here. I'll just put it in and start recording, but I've stopped doing all that. I'll just open up my laptop, start recording. I'll minimize the time so I have a less chance to say no to it or postpone it. That is how I'm able to manage the time. I minimize the restrictions that I have.
That's good. That's really good, actually.
What about you? What is your content strategy going on? Like, how's your blog going on right now?
Well, I started to use, it's a bit of a story. I started a personal website, and Wix I figured out is not the ideal blogging platform. So I want to,
I told you.
Yeah.
You should listen. You should listen to the experts.
I went for the convenience first place, but it was
not worth it. Not worth. Again, same thing that I felt between WordPress and Typepad. So with WordPress, I can make my articles SEO worthy, and I can run behind the traffic, or I can use Typepad and have great articles and let my content get in the people. So
for all the people who are watching, if you are considering a serious blog, don't try Wix.
Wix is not for a blog. Wix is for business websites or your personal portfolios.
Like artsy things, you know?
Exactly. So, and you can do everything that you can do with Wix with WordPress as well. WNBA, their website is with WordPress. I think CNN is again WordPress. So I really believe WordPress gives us every single kind of possibility in the website and online world that we want, from putting Amazon stores in your website to subscribers, to subscriber bars, to MailChimp integration, everything.
Yeah. So let me finish my story. So now I made a request with Wix to transfer the domain name to WordPress. So that's possible. But I have to wait because you have to wait a month before you can move it. So my plan is to just transfer the domain name to WordPress. And at now I'm just like doing a blog a day on Medium, which I really like.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Very user friendly. It's growing rapidly. I saw there's some statistics. There's a lot of there's a big pool of bloggers on that.
Yep.
And it's open source. So basically it's like Instagram. You just post, you use the tags, and people can just follow you if you want. So
yep. So Medium is a pretty strong place to blog. And Medium is filled with professional people. People.
And I love the way they focus on just the writing, the content. It's not about the links and the photos, and it's just your writing. And I think if you have great writing skills, it's actually a very good place.
Hence me on Typepad. So, but since I'm listening to you, I'm actually gonna make a note of this. I'm gonna try Medium as well. But then again, that's the issue, because if I'm promoting myself on Typepad and at the same time I'm promoting myself on Medium, it destroys the Medium and Typepad. I don't think so. But so I can copy and paste the same blog post to Medium, but
what also is very cool is like on WordPress you have a plugin which allows you to cross-post your WordPress
so
blog.
with Typepad I have the plugin for Facebook and Twitter. But my issue is, if I am blogging on Medium, the same thing, I blog on Medium and Typepad, and I share the stuff from my Typepad to my Facebook. And then what do I do with Medium? Do I just keep blogging and never share it? So wait for organic traffic, wait for somebody to stumble upon? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, just compare the two options. Let's see what fits your personality. I think Medium is a great tool for you as well. You have to consider it for sure.
Medium is a social media platform. Typepad is not a social media platform. Like Typepad, people have profiles, people have all of that. But Typepad does not have automatic discoverability. I think so. Medium does have it, so I probably can actually end up copy and pasting the same blog post from Typepad to Medium. I might actually end up doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna just make a note on that, and I'll actually do that. That's a good point. Medium. I know Gary Vaynerchuk is a big fan of Medium as well. So yeah.
Yeah, he talks about it in his deep. Quick side note for the viewers: these glasses, these weird glasses here, they are
sunglasses.
I don't know if you can see it, Swannies. They are made to block out artificial blue light so you can have a better deep sleep. So go to swanwig.com. No, I'm kidding. They're very good. I love them.
But yeah, that's a good strategy, I think. Smart. Thanks a lot for that. I'm gonna go for Medium as well. Yeah. But yeah, and what about your marketing? What are you doing with the marketing of your blog? Because marketing as in sharing and getting people to see your blog, no, getting people to see the blog. So I know you've been sharing it on LinkedIn or Facebook, but
I share it on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, and I do an Instagram story like new blog up. I post it in. So what I do on my Instagram as well is I just link it in my bio, like my daily blog.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any other tips to make people aware of the blog posts?
Are you a part of Facebook groups? So I know you're a part of my group, but yeah, exactly. So that thing that you did right now, I know most of people do that. I used to be like, okay, Facebook groups, maybe not, but yeah. Facebook groups, if you are really interacting, is a big source of traffic. Yeah. But you'll have to give value, not just your content, but you'll have to interact with people. So it does take work. And if you want to get out, you'll have to do the work. And I'll tell you what.
Are you talking about creating a known Facebook group now?
Nope.
Or just posting
get into existing groups, start talking to people, not just posting there. Start talking, building relationships. So one of my greatest relationship came from a recent group, Dominate Your Life Mastermind group. So the guy, John Bonacci. So this guy, he just interviewed me yesterday for his show. And this guy
How was it, by the way?
So he's a 6-figure earner just from Facebook last year's. And he's a sales trainer, sales coach, motivation speaker, personal development podcast show, all of those things. He's worked for Under Armour in sales and marketing and all of like that kind of stuff. So at the age of 21 or 22, he was in Under Armour working for their marketing. So I'm not sure if it was marketing or sales, but so this, and I'm going to have another talk with this guy, and he's amazing. So, and that came from me interacting with somebody in the group. And I know it takes work, but it is useful.
So if I'm right, you came into contact with him by just interacting in a personal development?
It turns out it was his group that I joined. So I started talking to people in that group.
Yeah.
So I started talking. It's a 1,500 people group. Then another person, a good speaker.
Stop, Shivam, say hi to the camera.
A speaker, an Australian speaker. He contacted me from one of the groups. He has a group with 17,000 people, 17,000 personal development coaches only. And he added me to the group, and I've been interacting there. That group has provided a big surprise. I can't talk about it right now, but everybody will get to know soon. And then comes this group with the guy I was with yesterday. And so I started talking to people in the group who post in that group. I started posting my videos, my blogs in the group. And he was like, who is this guy who is putting out these regular videos of this awesome content? So these are his words, who is putting out this great content every single day and these videos and the blogs in my group. And he talks to me and we fix a call and bam, it has to be me.
Dude, that's awesome. And what did he ask you? Like how did the
It was an interview of my thoughts on business, on entrepreneurship, marketing in general, a little bit of Instagram. So it ended up being much more motivational and psychological type of interview, because I was kind of in that mindset. And especially when like somebody asks me how am I supposed to get more followers, for example, more followers is not about techniques and tips and tactics.
Yeah, I mean, I follow a guy. His name is Kaylee Clark or something on YouTube, and he talks
Right.
about if you have like the 1,000 fans that really like love you, that's enough. Like then
So
you're then
that's Kevin Kelly is the person who made that statement initially
okay.
popular.
Yeah,
And then Seth Godin is the mind behind that as well. Seth Godin
yeah,
and Kevin Kelly are the main minds
yeah,
behind that statement and that 1000 true fan thing. And I believe it.
yeah.
I really believe it. So that's my aim right now, to have like 1000. Okay, imagine you have 1000 people, 1000 true fans who are going to buy anything and everything you put out. All right, like me for Grant Cardone. So if if your product is valued at $100, so you put out this online course or a book at $30, or an online course at $100, and 1000 of those buy it, that's $30,000 or $100,000. 100,000. That's a living right there. Like
Yeah.
the type of living you'll have in consulting in McKinsey when you start. More than that.
Yeah. Cool, man.
So that's the whole concept. Like 1000 people is super powerful. So I was giving
Yeah.
this example yesterday in the show. Van Gogh
Yeah.
has made 900 paintings in his lifetime, and I
Okay.
think 1000 or 1100 sketches or something. So, but talking about his paintings, there are ever in eternity only going to be 900 people who are actually going to own a Van Gogh painting. But the value each painting has,
It's crazy, right? It's super valuable.
so 900 is your magic number. Take for example Rolls-Royce. I think Rolls-Royce did 2100 sales last year. 2100, that's it. That keeps Rolls-Royce going, that company going. 2100 sales a year.
Mhm.
Lamborghini 4000 sales, or
Yeah.
Ferrari, I think it's a Ferrari, 4000 sales.
Yeah.
Again, Lamborghini, same number.
Let's go to another question. How do you try to differentiate yourself from all the gurus, from all the noise in the social media about marketing, and or is it just, do you think that just being you is already a differentiator, or do you think that it has to be more than that?
So there are no unique ideas, no unique techniques.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever I know, there are a million people who know the same thing.
Got it.
Number one, they are not putting out daily content, and they're not engaging. So most of the people are on social media and they spam their links. I try and interact with people right now. So I was one of the spammers, but now I'm trying to interact. And yeah, it's true. And you'll see the difference. You'll see the difference. The way my audience is growing right now and the engagement I'm getting from people, like, poles apart. Number two is
this by interacting more?
yeah,
Yeah.
bringing more value. Like, apart from my content, what other piece of value am I bringing to somebody? Number two is me. So million other people know what to do, how to do it, but they are never in their whole life are going to be able to do it in the exact same way that I do it. And the same
That's
way,
true.
I can't do the whole thing in the exact same way they do it. So me putting out quality content, and one thing that I realized from Seth Godin, and you'll see his influence in my blogs these days, is if I can change the life of a person by this much, it's a win for me, by this much. And that can happen only and only if
you put yourself out there.
different. So that's where I was before. Now what I think is, and this thing can only happen if I can make the other person think. So what happens is, we all quit when it becomes difficult. When education becomes difficult, Seth Godin's words, when education becomes difficult, people quit. Right? So what I want to do now is make it as difficult to understand as I can for people. So I don't want to give out simple tips. I want to give out tips which are actually going to benefit them in a way that they'll start thinking, and they can apply it in their own sense. So I'm not going to teach them, I'm not going to give them the fish, I'm going to teach them how to fish. That's the strategy I'm going for with my blog. With my videos, yes, I need to give technical tips, but at the same time, I have these vlog versions of the blog that I'm doing where I make people think, like this story of frozen floating water.
Yeah, and I want to quickly add on to that. Like, I read a couple of Neil Patel's blog posts.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed by the simplicity by which you read through those blog posts. It almost seems effortless. It's just like you absorb it, and it's like it makes sense, you know.
A couple of things there. His blogs are SEO king. They are like, it's like SEO all over the blogs. So the best thing about his blog is that they are into bite-sized chunk pieces that you can scan like that. You don't need to, so there is no chunky paragraph even with 3 lines. So the largest paragraph he has is like 2 lines, and pictures, 2 lines, infographics. So that is something that is super helpful in making your information transfer to people, and at the same time making people think, because after 1 line there's a pause. So there's a moment of difference when they read this line and they go to the next line.
Yeah, got it.
And in that moment, their brain thinks.
Yeah, it gives them a moment of reflection, and then they move on. I love
reflection is the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I love Neil Patel. Also his, I don't know, skinny head. I like it.
Yeah.
So anyway, what about this thing here? Phone. Optimizing your blogs for phone. That happens.
You have to do it. Laptops are going away.
Yeah.
So optimizing your blog for phone is not difficult. Like, okay, look at my TypePad blog. So I just chose a responsive theme and I'm done. Because like I am paying attention to content right now, right? But if you have a WordPress blog, you need to make sure your website is totally responsive on mobile phone, like from the menu to every single thing.
That's the shitty part about WordPress, right? I mean, Wix has like
no, actually, you can no. You can have shit ton of stuff on WordPress. Like you open up my website on WordPress right away. If you can look at Smart Binology or Helping Men Style right away, it's completely mobile optimized. It's no problem there.
What do you use?
A theme that is fully responsive. The best part about all of that is that I get better reach from Google rankings if my website is mobile optimized from SEO.
Before I choose a WordPress theme for my personal website, we have to talk, because I really want to make sure that I choose a proper theme.
You can have those themes when you are choosing the theme. You can have a look at if it's responsive or not right there. It's going to be in the details of that specific theme. That's super easy, super cool. And like you can have a checkbox while you are finding these themes. You check fully responsive themes and it's going to only show these fully. It's a full-fledged search ability built into WordPress. It's amazing.
Which theme are you using right now?
I think it's Jumbo or something of that sort. I don't remember the exact name.
Is it a premium or is it free?
No, it's a free theme. I don't go for premium stuff. Like rarely I go for premium stuff. So my thing with like TypePad, again, it's not premium at all.
But you pay, you said, right?
I pay. That's $15. But that's the point. Like if I would have done TypePad free.
Yeah.
I could do that. But then same with SoundCloud. So I'm on a free plan on SoundCloud right now. So, but I'll have to pay soon.
Let's talk a bit about podcasts. I saw you got recently into it.
Yeah.
I listened to a few, and I really like you're really engaged in your talks. What do you think of SoundCloud? Like, what do you think in audio in general? Like, how does audio relate to video and blogs?
Yeah.
Is
So
there a preference people have for either video or? Oh yeah.
this is what I use for the podcast and a lapel mic. As for what I'll tell you why I got into podcasts. Um, Two reasons. One, I can be very open because it's audio, so it's more like a blog but on audio, and
Yeah.
I can have long form content. I can be more open, but at the
True. That's true.
same time, so many people are listening or watching these videos while they're in car driving or they're in the subway. So instead of just putting out YouTube videos, I started putting out my content on podcasts where people can actually listen to them when they're doing something else.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
podcast community is growing. So audiobooks, podcasts.
Well, yeah, it would be cool to have. I don't know if you have an idea of the statistics, like what is the consumption of like video versus
I think
audio
Neil
versus
Patel or somebody has
podcasts?
done it for sure.
Yeah.
But doesn't matter. Like I've stopped getting into vanity metrics, as they call these things. I've stopped getting into all of these things. Like it's an illusion. Again, it's an illusion. Like I'm gonna quote my own blog post here. So when you toss a coin, you tell yourself it's gonna be heads. Catch it, it's heads. You do it again, you go like, okay, it's gonna be heads again. Bam, it's heads. You do it the third time, you're gonna be this time it's gonna be tails. Bam, it's tails. You're in control. You feel you are in control, right? But are you really in control?
Yeah. Circle
So
circle of influence.
so what happens? The same methodology applied to our YouTube or Instagram. When I'm getting more followers, more views, more shares, I feel I'm in control. But am I really in control of who consumes my content and how they consume it, how many people consume it? No, I'm not. It's the market is the market is the market.
Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk. So
That's
the point here is that I cannot, come what may, control. No, doesn't matter how many how much of these vanity metrics I've followed. Doesn't matter how many followers I have. There is always going to be somebody who hates my face or who hates my voice. Always, no matter what. No, if I have 10 million followers, like you go to Casey Neistat's channel and or Superwoman's channel on YouTube, she has like 11 million followers. Casey Neistat, again, I think around 6 million people. You go down to the comments and you'll have a couple or two people who are like, this guy's an asshole. No, like we can't convert that coin into a sphere. So every single time we know what is the outcome, it's one outcome that a person will follow us. That will never happen. It will always be a cylinder. So there is always a possibility that nobody will, that person comes to our channel and doesn't follow us. So considering that, I think it says it all. We are stuck with the numbers and how many followers have you got, how many, and I know coming from me, it doesn't suit my face because I boast of the Instagram followers and all of that. It doesn't make sense. But
do you like still
look at my followers?
I don't know, like how many times a day you check your Instagram, like the followers and the likes and stuff? Because for me, it pops up every time as well.
So
I don't know.
I never, apart from like right now, Helping Men Style is not doing good. So I'll have a look how my content is doing, but I've stopped looking into the number of followers right now. The reason being, I can't change it. So I know my strategies already. So they are ingrained. So whenever I post a picture, it is in that strategy. So I don't need to be reminded of these things again and again. So I never check my followers right now, but I get happy when I get more followers. Yes. But every single time I don't check followers. I don't check impressions. And partly the reason is I have content-based goals, as I said in the video. So whenever I open a new Instagram account, my goal is 100 pictures. Right now, my goal with Helping Men Style is 1,000 pictures. My goal with Men and Shoes is 800 pictures. Same with YouTube. So my goal is 2 videos a day. With podcast, my goal is at least 1 podcast a day. With blog, my goal is 1 blog a day, rather than these many followers a day.
I agree with you, like on the focus on the contents. I agree totally. But I mean, the numbers always give you a kind of like feel of how you are, because I mean, let's be honest,
All right.
the followers are a sense of likely of how much people like your content as well. So it's like I think it's like a balance. You don't have to like overcare, but
So
also you should take it into
so
consideration.
I think number of followers and likes are not how much people like the content or how much people like you. They are a metric of how good they feel when they see your content, which is different than how much they like you. I'll try and explain this thing. So if 10 people like your picture on Instagram, does it mean those 10 people like you as a person?
Well, it depends if it,
Not even close. Not even close, right?
yeah,
But they
yeah,
liked
I
your
mean,
picture and they followed you. So 50,000 people on my Instagram, on one of my Instagrams, does it mean these guys like me? When I go on live stream, these same people have fuck you and all of those comments on my live stream, and still they're following me. So me
yeah,
feeling that these all people like me because of the content, no, they are there because it gives them pleasure, it gives them inspiration. So again, market is the market is the market. They care about them. Nobody gives a shit who I am, and nobody gives a shit what's going on in my life. Everybody gives a shit in what's going on in their life and how I am going to help them or
yeah, of
inspire
course.
them. So me
Yeah.
checking the number of followers doesn't make sense at all. And this is something I've recently learned, and it has made my world so much better because I'm
Yeah,
more
well,
focused. I'm more
it's,
focused on the
yeah,
content and
yeah,
helping
of
people.
course, you can focus on executing your tasks and
Exactly.
yeah, because it really takes some time, you know, like pondering over the followers, not a good idea.
Exactly. And we all tend to be dragged in this because we treat how many followers you have to how good we are, which is completely wrong and completely stupid, I think. And
Yeah,
I don't put myself out of it. I am still I am in that scene sometimes, and I have been in that exact scene since a long time now.
hmm,
But I got out of it, and now since I am out of it, I can see it more clearly that what was the thing that I was doing wrong when I was focusing on how many followers do I have. It
yeah.
is important. Again, number of followers is super duper important in terms of business, in terms of sales,
Social
in terms of
currency.
marketing. In
It's our new social currency.
exactly.
Yeah.
So these are important, but me being bothered with number of followers that I have wastes
Yeah.
my time.
What you say is you focus on the contents and you assume the following will come.
I don't assume. So I obviously whatever content I'm putting out for you, for people, but I don't assume the following will come. So whatever content I am putting out has optimization built in. So the pictures I'll put pictures which I feel and my intuition says are going to be more popular. But I won't go back and check the number of likes I've got. There's a difference in that. So if I'm consumed with the number of followers, is my focus shifts from creating content to focusing on followers and trying to increase these followers, where if I don't have content, I don't have followers. So if I have content, I can have followers, but if I don't have content, these followers don't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
So I need to be focused on creating quality content.
That's it.
And after I have created content, I go into marketing. I go do SEO. I go do all of that stuff, which is highly important to
Yeah.
make it more visible. But I don't want my focus to go off of content. And that is what happens.
Let maybe let's talk a bit about personal development and morning and evening routines. What is like what do you like to do in the morning and in the evening?
I tell you, I'll give you the components of a successful morning routine. All right.
Yeah, sure.
Then people who are
What works
watching the
for you?
video, then people who can, yeah, not I'll give you like successful, awesome people. Like not me. Like my routine is composed of multiple
I
things.
want to know what you do in the morning, not
So
other.
I'll tell you the exact things that tend to work in the morning, and
Okay.
I won't tell you the exact routine and the exact order because it really is not important. So it has to do a lot with some sort of mindfulness practice, some sort of meditation, a little bit of physical exercise, probably some sort of green tea or something of that sort to calm your mind and clean this whole thing up.
Yes.
And it has something to do with some sort of creative practice in the morning, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, more than enough. Mix these things up, and they
Okay,
tend
that's
to
still
these
very.
things they tend to give your brain the kind of clarity that you need throughout the day, and you tend to have a lot of positive moments if you have a morning routine with these, like based around these things. Yeah,
You were okay. You were gone. You were gone for 2 minutes. I don't know what.
yeah, it's back on.
Okay, there we go. So, okay, you said mindfulness. You said a kind of physical activity. That's actually good. What kind of mindfulness? Like you sit down and meditate for 10, 15 minutes, or
Anything you meditate, you can listen to a song. Listening to the same song over and over again is also mindfulness.
yeah, I like that. I like that one.
You can scribble, you can write, you can listen to song, you can sit quietly with your hands in your lap, you can put some calm music on and think.
Yeah.
Everything is mindfulness.
And what do you do in the evening to slow down before you go to sleep?
Nothing, I just go sleep.
This
So
surprised
I
me.
might if I'm feeling weird, I might write a blog, or I might write a little bit, or even if it's too much, like, or if I missed some sort of mindfulness or meditation, I'll do that in the evening, but not necessarily before sleeping.
Mhm. And can you fall asleep easily? Do you do?
Yeah, for sure. I
Because you.
usually I could not before I tried meditation, but since I've tried meditation regularly,
Mhm.
super awesome.